What is up, MLP? It is your Commissioner KHD59 Gaming back here with the second episode of MLP Primetime Week 2 edition for Season 14. So last week I was joined by Blinn, and this week I am joined by a brand new coach who does all kinds of his own YouTube stuff. Would you like to say hello?
Yeah, hello. My name's P McGee. I am in my first season here with MLP. Really having a fun time with it so far. A lot of great content coming out. I really enjoyed Blinn's power ranking videos that he did right before the season started, and I've been enjoying the little bits we've gotten so far of this. So I'm happy to be here today and participating in it. So thank you for having me.
Anytime, dude. Glad to have you. And I'm definitely going to put Blinn saying Enola right in there.
Enola.
Because I didn't do that quite enough in the last video. But to quickly recap what we got on the agenda for today, we got Harris versus Jamal as our nobility game. We have Hacker versus the Canadiankid as our perplexity game. King Eevee versus Bright Lovely Manbird as our duality game. Ricco versus K Savage as our luxury game. And Iraz versus Darth Yoshi as our elementary game. So we're gonna, just like the last video, we are going to start off with the nobility game. And there's nothing really too out of the ordinary to say about this game. Polt and Medi both do their regular thing for Harris, and I think Spec could be a bit of an issue if he gets rid of Mandy, but I don't see how he reliably does that on Jamal's side.
I think the only thing I really caught my eye looking at least through team preview, was the Duosion bring. I thought it was a really interesting decision to bring because his team has problems with the Venusaur a bit, the Mega Venusaur, and so Duosion can kind of sit on there on leech seeds and poison damage, things like that. But unfortunately, because he's also running the Dragepult, his team is really prone to opponents carrying knockoff, and I think we're going to see that come into play in this match is like tech for Dragepult, which just happens to work for Duosion as well.
But another thing I noticed was that like Mew and Hydreigon on Jamal's side face like a ton of pressure in this game. Just to that's probably his best counterplay to Harris's two biggest threats.
Yeah. Mandibuzz has a lot of work to do in this match to create opportunities for Dragepult to be effective, or for Mega Medicham to just break things, because pretty much Mew is like traditionally the only, bulky psychics are traditionally some of the best Mega Medi answers we see in a lot of matches. And so if you're a bulky psychic that can heal, you're usually pretty well off to handle something like a Mega Medicham. Otherwise, it turns into a real nasty problem really quickly.
Yeah, so without further ado, we're going to get started. We're going to see the Spectrier and Rotom Wash leads respectively, and we're going to see a double right off the bat.
Yeah, this is like a full Spadef Mandibuzz, really built to kind of shut down Hydreigon and then the Spectrier.
So here's the first instance of where Medi gets in. Obviously, he's got a full health Mew in the back, so it's what we're gonna see here. But what I think is interesting is Harris pulls out the bulk up right here.
Really smart tech, really good play. Obvious switch out by the Hydreigon, so it's just a really free window to click bulk up, and then this Mew answer does not stay as a Mew answer.
Well, yeah, I figured, and I didn't mention this in preview, but one of my other thoughts was Medi could be Baton Pass, and that's how he'd get Pultin, because Pult has a lot of fun here as well.
Oh, that'd have been clever. I haven't seen too much of that, but that's a very good situational use in this matchup.
Yeah, bulk up's also good because he can 2-hit KO this Mew with a couple different moves, but the one he opts to go for is high jump kick. Mew
so
does
I think it's a
helmet.
mistake Mew doesn't have Will-O-Wisp in this match, because Mew is your clean answer to Medicham, and once you burn Medicham, you're much better off in this match. Things like Mega Venusaur can start to check it pretty well, or you generally just have more mobility when that Medicham is burnt. And so I'm surprised Mew doesn't have it in this matchup. It's going for more of, I'm going to try to break you down with a Rocky Helmet chip damage on Flamethrower, rather than just trying to like shut it down with, say, a Will-O-Wisp and then just heal stall it out until it's forced to leave or die from the burn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think we got Jamal's sets, but him not clicking it there is a little Raises a couple eyebrows. But anyway, he's gonna make a read here and go for the Psycho Cut. Even though he got the read wrong, I still think it's the right play because Medi's gone if you get that. If you HJK into the Spectrier. And the Mew already revealed Flamethrower, so like, you live another one.
And see, that's the point too. So this Mega Medicham is just alive. Like, it doesn't have a lot of health, but it's alive at 23%. It's gonna outspeed Heat Train. It's gonna outspeed Venusaur. It's gonna outspeed Blastoise. It's gonna outspeed anything but Scarf Hydreigon. So there's just so many more windows for this to come in and just do a lot of damage now, which is why I think it would have been more worthwhile to burn it so that you have more control on how to manage it. Because now it gets to click a move for massive damage pretty freely every time it hits the field. And he has decent pivot with the Rotom, the Mandibuzz, and the Dragapult to get it back in. So it's something to be wary of the rest of this match.
Exactly, yeah. Like, there's certain matchups where Medi needs its health, but this is not one of them. Spectrier is like the only thing that reliably revenges it, and that busts right through it every single time. So you don't mind losing health on this as long as it's alive. Now we're gonna see the Duosion as Jamal goes for the knock. Knock's definitely a good play. Even though knock will do roughly the same amount of damage and Duosion can recover that off. Actually, you know what? I won't spoil it. We'll come back to it later. But
yeah.
Knock was still a good play. You take the Mandy's boots. You take whatever item the Ferrothorn may have. And whatnot, but anyway,
it's a pretty free to click move, and he was smart to bring it because it's a tech move you don't always want to bring on Mega Venusaur. Really good in this matchup.
You see Pharaoh come in on the Hydreigon. He clicks plot there as he goes for rocks. I kind of messed up in the notes. I said this screams Aka Pharaoh when it revealed leftovers. But
yeah, we already know the item.
In that case, I think it was just a really aggressive rocks there by Harris.
Yeah, really calling either that it was going to go for a predictive guess on the switch out, or it was just willing to stack the Pharaoh for momentum. Because I guess as soon as the Hydreigon revealed leftovers, is that the item on it? Leftovers?
Hydreigon, yes.
Yeah. So as soon as it confirmed leftovers, maybe he felt okay about sacking Ferrothorn for the momentum it would give for the Mega Medicham, because now Mega Medicham comes back in and outspeeds because it knows it's not Scarf anymore. And so once it's a counter for the Scarf, it's just a momentum game where he's like, I get Hydreigon, I get a Dragapult, or I get Mega Medicham in for free here as soon as I lose Ferrothorn. So it's fine momentum with me. And he's got the one mon advantage, so he's just playing a trade-off game really early, is what it looks like, which isn't a bad call.
So he's going to plot up, and we'll see another Dark Pulse, and he's going to get the body press off, and yeah, that'll put it in Medi, Pull, whatever you want to come in to revenge range. But he actually opts to go for the Defog here, which I think is really interesting.
Very interesting. His team isn't taking any super effective damage to the rocks. I mean, everyone's taking 12% chip, but that's somewhat manageable.
But yeah, it's also Gen 8, so like everything that's not weak to it is gonna be running boots. So like the neutral chip is still like worth playing for and could be annoying in times because like you'll see later he's gonna want health on the Spectrier. He's gonna want health on all of this. So defogging the rocks, I can still get behind that play. And this is what also what I wanted to mention. He gets the poison, but it's Magic Guard, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Without the Eviolite, Sludge Bomb is doing over 50 in certain. I don't know the exact rules because we don't have the spreads, but but yeah, not good. They're losing the Eviolite.
Sludge Bomb has more recover, right?
I think it's equal. I think they're both 16. Yeah, they're both 16.
Oh, okay. I'd almost just keep spamming Sludge Bomb if I were him. There's no risk to it. You're forcing the Duosion into a heal off. Because the Duosion pressed Psychic there. The Duosion was willing to sack itself. It went for the Psychic on Venusaur rather than another heal up. So if Venusaur had stayed in and clicked Sludge Bomb, he gets another KO. He picks something up. I think that was a worthwhile exchange because you have some windows to get Venusaur back to health against the Rotom or the Mandibuzz.
I still think going into Tran was okay on the Psychic because now it's at 62 and can't switch into Venusaur anymore because
No,
knock
it
into
can't.
two knocks or knock into Sludge Bomb or double Sludge Bomb is gonna kill it. So either way, that's still a fine play. He's gonna pivot out into the Rotom, get Toxic, get pumped in the face. It did half. Here he gets the Spadef. Oh shit! It spoiled it, but he goes for Hyper Beam and he actually misses, and the Mandibuzz gets to Roost, which is huge because the Hyper Beam would have not knocked it out, but also left the Spectrier vulnerable as it has to recharge.
Yeah, the big thing here too is it confirms that it's not Scarf, which is what he was definitely scouting for in this match, because he'd been cautious about using the Dragepult previously because he thought the Spectrier would be Scarf and come in and revenge kill it very reliably. So now he knows Dragepult's the fastest mon left on the field because it switched moves.
Yeah, exactly. But Mandy is now alive, which is not good.
Yeah, very healthy Mandy. So here comes the Duosion sack. Or nope.
Yeah, he clicked Synthesis, which I think is fine. He needs this to be as healthy as possible as well, because it can also soft check Pult as well. That's like the best thing to take on Pult, because it does have knockoff.
See, he's not going to get the chance because Duosion's just going to keep clicking Psychic till you kill it here, and then he's going to come in with Mega Medi because it's such a free revenge kill on this.
Yeah.
Because you just keep spamming Psychic until Duosion gets sacked like it is right here, and then you come in with Mega Medi, and it's a free Psycho Cut. There's no switch into that.
Yeah, he was just going to sack Duosion there. It's just, until he got the Spadef drop, then he just had to attack. Which now that invites Medi back in. It's gonna claim another, which I believe it takes the Venu. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Shadow Balling there again was definitely a bit of a risk. But here we see the Dragepult actually doesn't kill it, and the Spectre kills it back. Which man, imagine if Mandy died earlier.
I know. So I think this might have been do we know the spread or do we know the sets here or for this Dragepult or no?
We do not know the Pult set now.
Okay, I think it might have been a Scarf, honestly, to account for Spectrier Scarf or Hydreigon Scarf, because that should have killed if it was a Specs Shadow Ball. I just don't see how that could have survived without a berry.
But now he's gonna go for the Hyper Beam, which unfortunately should have killed a while ago. And on the recharge turn, the Medi is going to pick this off.
Yeah.
And the last mon is Blastoise, which he misses the kick, and he goes for Shell Smash.
It's a brutal miss.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't get that miss, and he doesn't get every flinch on Rotom with Dark Pulse, I believe he has, the game's definitely over. But if Rotom gets flinched enough, the Blastoise will clean this game up. But the Dark Pulse is what we see first. He's gonna go for Discharge, get a crit.
It was always going to 2 KO. Yeah, I think that's worth noting.
Para wouldn't have made the difference there, but Rotom doesn't flinch. It's well trained, and it's going to clean up a 2-0 win for Harris. I think this was a good game to start it off. Pult and Medi are obviously very difficult to contain. I think Jamal did do it well for the most part, but the Hyper Beam miss was very, very unfortunate, and I think there were other ways that he could have gotten Spectre in a better position as well.
Yeah, you really need to force that Mandy to get sacked early. You need to find a way to trap it, catch it by surprise, something. Because, Mandy's coming in that match, and so there just wasn't a clean way around that for either Hydreigon or the Spectre. I've seen Hydreigon in the past, back in the OU ladder. I've seen Hydreigon run specific EVs to avoid U-turn breaking a sub, so Hydreigon can sub freely in front of a Mandy, and Mandy doesn't break it on the U-turn. But then again, you still have to deal with Infiltrator Pult potentially, so there's limitations to that in this matchup. But really good match. A really good back and forth affair for a while in that one.
Yeah, for sure. The two of them are friends, so I'm pretty sure they appreciated going against each other. Thank you for the good game, guys. And we're going to move on to our Perplexity game, Hacker versus TCK. So with this matchup in mind, I don't see anything that's glaringly good in this game that like straight up wins, but
Oh, Dracovish, easily. The only answer to that is Feeney on the other team. Everything else is O-code by
yeah, he doesn't have
Vicious
switch-ins
Friend.
to it, but he has good revenge options for it. So like
Yes.
I don't think he's overly weak to it. He can force it out, and like as long as he plays well around the Dracovish, I don't think it outright wins. Anyway, let's get moving on this game. We got the Nidoqueen and the Lando, so unless it's Shook and Nidoqueen, it's probably gonna get forced out, but it's likely Shook and Nidoqueen because it went for Ice Beam. So
Yep.
yeah, Licky's free rocks. It'll absorb Body Slam, and then we're gonna
Love the Body Slam tech.
Gonna see the Grimmsnarl come in now. Grimmsnarl's actually gonna trick the Licky, which I think is quite nice because Licky is the Fatmon that can soft check a couple different things, but that play rough miss is really annoying because you want as much chip on this as possible while it can't heal.
Well, he's doing a really clever thing right now. He's willingly sacking the Grimmsnarl because he knows as soon as the Licky kills the Grimmsnarl, he gets a kill with Dracovish, basically. And so it's just a free trade-off, and he likes the trade-off. Grimmsnarl did what it needed to do. It shut down the Licky, which is good for Nidoqueen. So now Nidoqueen has an easier time being effective in this match when his answer is choice-locked. And then upon losing the Grimmsnarl, he's going to get a free turn with the Dracovish, which is horrendous. There's no good switch-ins to that. So I'm liking what he's doing right now. Just the play rough miss sucks.
Yeah, you definitely want as much chip on this as possible, but he is thankfully going to get another one off, so the Vish should still be in good hands. And we're gonna see it. We're gonna see Mr. Vish right here. And he's gonna go to Feeney. Yeah, that thing gets bopped, and reveals the lefties. But here we go. TCK actually has a good set, and it's fast. It's faster and takes away the band.
That was a big thing. I'm guessing he didn't look at the calc damage on that to see that the Feeney definitely wasn't as defensive as it could have been. It's like, you don't want to... That takes a lot of potency away from Dracovish, because now Dracovish doesn't necessarily do a KO Corviknight anymore. It doesn't really KO Feeney well anymore. It's not going to have an easy time in the matchup anymore, which is unfortunate, because he had a lot of momentum to work with that Dracovish, I felt like.
Yeah, it's a good play from TCK, though, for sure.
Absolutely, really good play.
Yep.
There's always some fun, cheeky answers to Dracovish, and so that's what it was in this match. Really good play by TCK to take away the potency of Fish.
And it lives, too.
I know. Oh, my goodness.
That's what we call a stripping of power. Jeez. So he's gonna get moon blasted here, which I don't think it killed before, but taking away the band is much more important. So I was kind of reminiscing about that for a while. Then I took a harder look at it. So yeah, probably didn't kill.
And this is a free U-turn. I hope he U-turns here.
U-turn or knock, either or. Yeah, U-turn.
A U-turn's nice because it's a free Vish turn again.
Back in, he can just go licky. It is probably useless. Yeah.
Yep. Clean sack. Good idea.
And yeah, here comes Feeney once again. Yeah, exactly. It didn't kill beforehand. Still,
that's really what you
still
do in this match.
Yep.
You still have an opportunity for another hit on Corviknight, because Corviknight really wants to come in on Rillaboom every time it hits the field. So one good predictive U-turn on that, and you can break Corviknight pretty bad or KO something else with Dracovish still. So I think it's worth preserving the Dracovish. I don't think he's going to do that, but I thought it was
already
still
been
worth
spoiled
keeping.
that he's not. The Galade's gonna kill it off.
Yeah.
And we see the Flamethrower is not a 2-hit KO, so he's gonna back out and go into the Zapdos, and then he doubles into Galade, which I don't really understand.
I mean, Glade has like a 110 Spadef stat, and you've seen the damage output from that Flamethrower, so you know this isn't a Life Orb Nidoqueen, which means you're going to tank it pretty well, and he doesn't have a clean switch into Glade once Glade's on the field. I actually see the momentum there, because I think you called it accurately. This is probably a Shookaberry Nidoqueen, and he knows that as well, so Glade just gets a free window to sit in front of Nidoqueen and get a KO as in headbutt. As long as he avoids static.
Yeah. I can kind of get it, but also like what I said before with like preserving the health, because then you might be in glide range if Nidoqueen gets one hit off. I'm not exactly sure how much it does. It might do. I think it does like somewhere like around 60. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So we're gonna see the Zapdos come in. It's gonna lure in the Nihil, go on the Volt Switch, and Nidoqueen's gonna come back in pretty comfortably. And yeah, he's gonna go Gallade again. And he's going to get the previous chip off, like I mentioned. Zapdos is going to get Zen twice, no Static Para. But the Zapdos is gone, which now that we see the Nidoqueen can't 2 KO the Corv, I don't know how he beats the Corviknight with just looking at these three, depending on... Well, I don't know what the Hawlucha set is. We're going to see what the Hawlucha set is eventually, but... Now we're going to see the Rillaboom set come in, and like I said, it could likely be in glide range, but he is going to go for the U-turn to keep the initiative up. And here we are going to see the Grassy Seed Hawlucha. And
Smart play. Smart timing on it.
He's going to be bulk up as well, which is good for the Corviknight, but now we're also going to see the Lando bulk up. The interesting thing about this is it completely comes down to... the coverage. So I'm going to show that like they're going to bulk up for a couple turns here, but it completely comes down to what coverage each has to see who comes out of this, because if Lando's at full health and Hawlucha dies, TCK is going to win. If Lando dies and Hawlucha's at full health, Hacker likely wins. So Hawlucha's going to reveal the acrobatics, and he's going to chip down the Lando because it likely doesn't have reliable recovery on this set.
Look how close he was. He was one bulk up away from being able to one-hit KO the Hawlucha. It's what it came down to.
Yeah, but just at the same time, he couldn't get it off because he just acrobatics more times.
He was one turn short of being able to KO the Hawlucha. Really unfortunate. Really good timed opportunity by I can't remember his name, to get that Hawlucha on the field in front of Corviknight and start those bulk ups when it did.
Hacker Killer is his name.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Hawlucha is also going to reveal Roost, so it will pretty much just win this 1v1. It'll kill the Lando whenever it decides to.
I think what it's trying to do is get out of Shadow Sneak range too from the Mega Gallade if it can.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a possibility. I don't know if there's anything on Hacker's team that warranted Shadow Sneak, but...
No, I don't know. Sometimes it's just nice to have a priority move if you don't need all the coverage.
Yeah, even if it's weak. But yeah, it'll go right through the Corv, and it will
it's over now.
Indeed clean up this game 3-0. So there's a very interesting dynamic between the Hawlucha and the Landorus, but in the end, I think Hacker just outplayed. There's nothing really to reminisce about. I don't think there was anything that TCK did that was overly bad. I think he just got caught off guard by like the trick scarf on the Licky Licky, and also probably a little bit with this Lucha set, given that it also beat his Lando. That was...
I do wonder if maybe he should have... I don't know if he had Brave Bird on Corviknight. If he did, he maybe should have gone for it before they're switching out, because Up isn't usually the move Hawlucha runs, so Brave Bird might have been effective enough
considering it's a Corv checking Rillaboom, it's probably Brave Bird U-turn if I had to take a guess.
That's what I would assume. So maybe there was a window to click Brave Bird there, because Hawlucha's defensive stat is not good, so even at +2 defense, that Brave Bird was still going to do possibly enough to outpace the Roosts.
Next up, we're going to move on to our duality game between King Eevee and Bright Lovely Member, two MLP veterans. I thought Gastrodon was going to be a total bitch for Eevee, and I thought set up Mew could do some damage back to Manbird, but otherwise, like, Manbird's team should win this matchup a lot of the time.
I mean, Doug Trio is such a good mod in this matchup because neither the Dracozolt nor the Gigalith really want to be running Shed Shell. Neither of them really want to carry that item, and neither of them want to face against this Doug Trio. So Doug Trio is pretty spicy in this matchup.
Yeah, Doug Trio kind of is there that is just kind of to come in on the sand whenever it wants. That's like its main purpose. But anyway, we're gonna get started. We're gonna see the Buzzwole and the Lop first off. He's gonna go hard into Kun. And we see the taunt right out of the gate, and I'm already confused as to why there's taunt on it. I mean, I guess if there's one Mon you want on this team taunted, it's the Suicune, but.
So I think he made a good call here. I think he has in mind a different Suicune set than that was gonna show up. I think he's really worried about sub setup Suicune. So if you taunt on the predict switch in here, expecting Suicune to come in front of the Buzzwole, then you've stopped it from setting up, you've stopped it from subbing, which is going to lead to the turn 2 exchange we're about to see, where I believe it toxics the Suicune.
Yeah, we'll come back to the Suicune sets later, but
yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna see the Gastrodon come in on the Shadow Ball, and is this the turn where I complain about Shadow Ball or no? No, that's later on. Okay.
Okay. Now he's toxic the Suicune. I think in his mind he's dealt with Suicune for this match because he's not expecting maybe a rest set or anything like that, and so now Suicune's no longer a concern. I think it's one of those turns you can probably hard switch to Heatran to scout the move because it's not going to Scald a Gastrodon. So if you think it might toxic you, that's a way to kind of scout that out.
So yeah, Suicune reveals the rest, and at this point it's turning, and I'm like, oh wait, how does he beat this?
Yes, there's not a lot of answers to rest Suicune. So it seems like he had a clever way of getting the Suicune by taunting it, preventing it from subbing. I think he must have been really honed in on sub Suicune and maybe didn't give rest Suicune enough credit.
All right. This is where I have to start complaining, okay? Okay. So I get Encore Diancie, but like you literally just risked it to die because you didn't see a final move. You didn't see a final move yet, and you could just get scalded right in the face.
I believe it's still choice locked into the rest because it hasn't used any moves since it rested last time. It's been on the field the whole time resting.
But also, like the thing is, he didn't reveal Sleep Talk or anything. But like, I could see Encore being useful for that after he's back awake. But yeah, I definitely would not have gone for it there.
Like, Encore's good. Again, I think he's really worried about Sub Suicune, and so Encore's a really good way to shut down Sub Suicune.
All right,
it's
he's gonna go Gigalith on the Diancie. Diamond Storm
does with the Diancie
36.
Retreat. You have so many retreats from this Gigalith with your Diancie. Run away.
Yeah, I mean Gastrodon's still at good health. You can just pivot into that, recover up, and get out. But no, he stays in and Moonblast, which I think is like the worst possible play here.
Yeah.
Like at the very least, if you're gonna stay in, could you go for Diamond Storm, get the defense boost, and then live the Earthquake that then kills you?
It's game over now, because how do you beat this Suicune without Diancie? If it can just rest off the Toxics, if it can Scald pretty freely, because your answer to Scald is already Toxic, so your Gastrodon can't sit in indefinitely on it. Mandibuzz will eventually get Toxic as well, and then the Buzzwole and the Heatran and the Dugtrio don't want the Scalds. So that game's not looking good after turn 13. There's just no way to really break it, as far as I can see.
Not at all. So yeah, the Diancie is gone. We're gonna see the Dugtrio come in, trap the sand. It's gone. And Kun just comes back in for free. It's gonna sit here.
That damage output.
So he's starting to get into this phase where he spams Shadow Ball, and this was the point, was like, wait, what is Shadow Ball even for? Is that like the best thing he could have run for? But like, I started taking a look at the matchup, and like, I get that Reuni stall breaks the Suicune pretty well, which that's another thing I have to bitch about, but that's later. But I figure why did Ice Beam just not come? It hits Druddigon harder, it hits Gastrodon harder, it actually hits Quilladin because Quilladin has Bulletproof and can only take Scald and Toxic. But then Ice Beam... a Shadow Ball does barely any more damage, so like, why was it worth bringing at all for literally anything? Were you fishing for Spadef drops or something? Like, I don't think that's I don't think that's a good excuse. I don't think that's a good reason to warn prep.
I'm not disagreeing.
So the Gastrodon dies to Toxic, which now just means Suicune needs to burn this Buzzwole and it wins, pretty much.
I mean, it doesn't even need to burn it. Look at that damage output. It's 17%.
If it was like bulk up Drain Punch, Buzzwole would have a chance. It would have had a chance. I mean, I probably wouldn't have brought that against like Mew, but
yeah, and that's the issue with slow taunts is when you need it to work for you like that. Now he's put the Buzzwole on the timer, so now he doesn't even need to care about the burn.
I said burn on Buzzwole, but Toxic works too, considering you're taking actually no damage.
Yeah, because you could actually end up in a roost stalling fest with the Buzzwole just roost stalling, even though it's burnt, and just making it last, another 60 turns.
Yeah,
because nothing really breaks the Buzzwole easy except for Mew. Again, he had another piece of tech for Subsuicune Whirlwind at play, so like he really brought answers to Subsuicune, which just did not show up.
Which I mean, like I can see Subtoxic Scald Ice Beam Suicune, which kind of just goes nuts, but it can do that. But like the set I mentioned with Ice Beam over Shadow Ball also would have ended this game a lot quicker as well.
I don't know why he doesn't come with Dugtrio and just get an extra kill. He comes in with Dugtrio now. It's fine. The game's over. Dugtrio's going to pick up an extra kill so that it's 4-0, so at least get some better differential out of it.
Yeah, like I said, all it does is kill the sand and then it's a sitting duck.
Mm-hmm.
And
really good Suicune play. Really kind of showcasing why it's such a frustrating mon to deal with sometimes, and why you really need to bring like your Grass and Electrics against the Suicune in matchups, just because you need that stab damage. That stab super effective to really push through it sometimes.
I guess if I have no more notes on this game, this is the part where I bet you about Reuniclus not coming.
Yeah, Reuniclus definitely had a window to be effective here.
It's one of the best stall breakers in the game, and like Calm Mind, Psyshock, Recover, Coverage just does so much in this game, and I can't process why it didn't come. And if you struggled that much with Suicune, it's the best like overall answer to most Suicune sets. I think you could have freed up a lot of prep options on the rest of the team, and that's pretty much it.
Oh no, Dugtrio's gonna get another kill. Look at little Dugtrio go.
I mean, I guess it didn't have Shard. You don't need Shard. You don't need Shard in this game. You just need Axle, Knock, / low kick or move for Buzzwole. But yeah, that's just a 3-0 win for Eevee. We complained enough about the Suicune prep and the Suicune itself, and I got to complain about the Reuniclus already, so I have nothing else to say.
I think Reuniclus definitely had a potential to be very effective in this match. Maybe he was worried about Roar Suicune to like phase it out, but would have been, I think, really potent in this matchup.
Yeah, and after what happened you weren't here, but last season we had Suicune in all 4 divisions last season, going crazy. I actually lost to a Spec Suicune. I had a Goodra and I lost to a Spec Suicune.
Ooh, that's a feels bad moment.
I feel bad for ripping on them a lot, but like if Manberg cared about what we said about him, he would have been gone a long time ago. He's been here for 10 seasons now, which is an eternity. But anyway, we need to keep moving. Next up we got Risk versus Nally. Nally has a Grody-esque semi-stall team. My overall thoughts was that Mixed Gren looked very good here. That's not what we end up seeing, unfortunately, but
no.
But also, like, look at the reliance on Quag. He needs it for Arrow, he needs it for Cobalt, he needs it for Arcanine, he needs it for certain Gren sets if it can't touch that as hard. Quag is facing a lot of pressure, and it just opens a lot of doors if it dies.
Yeah. So it becomes about how do I get Quag into a bad spot early and then break this game open, which is, I think, what Risu is looking at when we get into the lead-offs here.
Yep. And Pult does Pult things the other way. That's how I wrote it in my notes.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what you're looking at here. It's just like, yeah, Pult can do a lot of damage to basically anything because it can spam Shadow Ball for free here. Cobalion has a bad Spadef. Greninja doesn't have defensive stats.
Gren's not a ghost resist. That's all you have to say.
It's not a ghost resist on anything. Like, it just can't take hits. And then Lantern, if it's AV, can be tanky for a bit. Arcanine, depending on the spread, could be tanky. But Aerodactyl's not liking it either, although it does outspeed.
So let's get started with this game. So
for how much he's relying on the Dragepult in this match, if you're leading off against a Greninja, because I watched a match, this is the exact lead off I saw in a match like 2 or 3 days ago. It was a Scarf Greninja, it stayed in, it clicked Dark Pulse on the Dragepult died. And for how much Nally needs this Dragepult in this match, you just don't want to risk that on turn 1, in my opinion. You just need to hard switch out to Blissey or something to scout what this Greninja's doing. So like the U-turn works out, but like that was really, really risky on turn 1.
Yeah, I do like the T-Spikes here though, for sure, because that'll help with Quag and Blissey. And Buzzwole.
I know poison types.
Yeah.
There's 4 things poisoned by the Toxic Spikes here.
The only way to get rid of it is Mandibuzz. Which Risk can abuse quite a bit, but we'll get that later. We see the taunt. I'm gonna throw this man in jail.
Cobalion comes in now. I think Cobalion's gonna set rocks.
Yeah.
The one thing that had protection from the Toxic because it wasn't grounded is already slap with status. So now you're really hoping this Blissey has Aromatherapy or Heal Bell because this team is hurting pretty bad pretty early.
Yeah, we also see the Tanga Berry on Mila, which like I think has to be for Buzzwole because I don't see another use for it. I looked at that for
Buzzwole.
This was the game where I looked at the full teams the most because I have some things to bitch about later.
Okay.
But yeah, he's gonna get Pulten. It's gonna get poisoned and take 25, which is really nice.
Okay. It's this turn right here. So he's going to U-turn on this Lantern, and then you can let him switch out to his, I believe he's going to switch out into Blissey. He needs to go hard into his Mandibuzz there, because if you pause it for a second, the Greninja's weak. The Greninja's at like 3 or 6%, something ridiculous.
7.
Yeah, that Greninja's almost out of play, and you had a free window to defog with that Mandibuzz right there, because you're gonna outspeed this Lantern, and this Lantern probably doesn't have access to Taunt. I don't know if Lantern's full move pool, but I don't think it has access.
No, it doesn't.
So there's a window right there to defog and get those hazards cleared, because he can't really do anything useful in terms of Aromatherapy or Heal Belling until those Toxic Spikes are addressed, because all it's going to do is fix Mandibuzz. Everything else is going to get restatus as soon as it hits the field. So that was your really early opportunity to fix that, because the Hazard Sack is already breaking this defensive wall, because Quagsire needs like max health and leftovers to probably wall out this Mega Aerodactyl. If it's got to deal with status 2, it's not going to succeed as a Aerodactyl wall.
Yeah.
Over. I'm done.
Now we're gonna see Taunt again. I really want to throw Riss in jail. Jeez.
Smart play, because you know he's trying to teleport out. Forces the Quagsire in a hard switch, which lets you get a free dual wing beat in there. So you force Quagsire into like a heal off immediately.
Yeah, and due to the poison damage, this is not a switch. And it's not even Helmet either, which I think, given how weak Quagsire is, I think Helmet was always the play. If this is your arrow stack.
Yeah, I think because his only dual wing beat isn't doing enough to 2-hit KO. I'm gonna assume this is unaware Quag so that Aerodactyl can't set up. And then, so you're walling it out with Quagsire at full health, and even from Rock's Chip, you're still gonna wall out the Aerodactyl. So you should definitely be Helmet here to just kind of force out the Aerodactyl so that you can at least kind of control that mon a bit, because it's pretty oppressive against this team.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think he taunts this.
He's gonna bust out the taunt. Good play from Riss to stop the recovery there, but at that point, after you just saw what happened with the dual wing beat, I would have just attacked.
Yeah, and I'm assuming his Lantern has Heal Bell too, so he's not worried about the risk of getting burned by a Scald because he can probably fix it with his Lantern. And so it's just a very rewarding opportunity to click taunts because you come out of that on top in one way or another. If you don't get burnt by Scald, then you could KO Quagsire. If Quagsire tries to heal, then you're just going to sweep through Quagsire because it gets locked into a move it can't use on that turn. So really good play from Riz. He's just taking control of this game really, really early.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Quag just gets caught with his pants down right there. So.
Yeah, he was unaware.
He was unaware that his pants were on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Which now he just wing beats as long as he doesn't miss. I wish my arrow knew how to hit dual wing beat. I'm jealous. Anyway, Heatran comes in, easy Lantern. It's gonna chew that up. Nom nom.
Yeah, he's probably aware of the Shukaberry on Heatran as a potential, so he's scouting that out. Smart play.
The Pult's gonna come back in and he's gonna click U-turn, which at that point I don't know why he clicked U-turn. I think he just needed to start clicking buttons considering he was behind.
Yeah, you need to start breaking things
and
quickly.
Since the T-spikes and hazards are beginning to gnaw, now it's at half. And now that it's poisoned again, it's gonna keep taking more chip.
We got the defog in finally. Just it was a little too late in this game. And Blissy's just not gonna be able to do anything. Is this not natural cure Blissey? Why is it poisoned?
I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, that's not a natural cure. That might have been a mistake because that Blissey should not be status right now.
No, it had to be deliberate.
So
natural cure is its default ability, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. He has nothing to make advantage of the Serene Grace or the healer, so he must have just misclicked something.
Yeah, we've seen them. I'm confused. We've seen the full moveset.
That's just an unfortunate misclick on the ability somewhere along the way, because that is clearly the wrong thing. And so now Blissey is just getting Blissey can't even come on the field because it can't even.
Oh my god.
Sit there and get. Oh yeah. It's
anyway,
rough.
Risky arrow maneuver there, but it works. You haven't seen the last move yet. A flash cannon. I honestly would have run flash cannon considering how much arrow fucks this team up.
Yeah. Now Heatran's at half health, so if you have Earthquake and Aerodactyl, you're no longer scared of the Shukaberry. You're pretty confident that's going to do enough, and it does.
Power of video editing, here we are. Alright, Mandy comes in. Which, yeah, it's wing beat EQ, so... you can just go Cobal on this thing, you don't care. I don't know why he sacks the Pult here. He's leaving it entirely up to his defense when his defense can't beat Mew.
I think he's yielded this game and he's just kind of pushing through to the end. I actually know he roosts here, so I guess he's still trying to fight it out, but...
Yeah, Arcanine's gonna blow through this thing. Toxic really doesn't matter because neither the Fat can break it. And, yeah, this is a slow and painful death. That's what it looks like.
I mean, so that's like the nice thing about Greninja Toxic Spikes is they don't have a lot of utility season long, but when you're able to bring them out for specific matchups like this, they're really, really potent because they don't always get fully accounted for in prep just because it's such a niche usage because Greninja has no survivability to click them. And so if you can get those off successfully like you did in this match, it's just really gross.
Yeah. Buzzwole will die to rocks and then Cobal will just CC the Blissey for a 4-0 win for Riss. Riss played really well, definitely deserved the win, but I'm going to complain about K Savage's semi-stall approach to this game. Given Riss had some pretty good anti-stall measures, I think a lot more offense would have been more ideal here. Like, Gardevoir and Nihilego didn't come, and I think they both look pretty good. They both struggle with Cobalion, but you have two good checks to Cobalion, so I don't think that excuses that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Cobalion's attack stat is only 90, so, like, that's manageable for, like, if you need to take one attack from a Cobalion, you can manage that.
Buzzwole took 11. It took 11.
Yeah.
120 base power move, and it took 11.
Either of them, I think, made more sense over Buzzwole in this matchup because Buzzwole just really didn't have a great window to be effective. Like, all it was doing was soft checking Cobalion, and that was really it.
And Riss is still in jail, I believe. Good. Anyway, we're going to move on to our final game for this episode, which is Irez versus Darth Yoshi. Urshifu and late game Arrow are probably Irez's biggest threats to this team, but Hydreigon and Heracross equally give this team a lot of trouble. Like, I'm not very high on Type Null as a Hydreigon check. It just gets you turned out, and something like Melmetal or Heracross comes in for free.
His team answers the Urshifu pretty well in this matchup too. Comfey just shuts down pretty much any sort of stab from Urshifu, and then you have Melmetal as like the Poison Jab or Iron Head check so that it can't freely click those as like an alt move. So he's just really well positioned to shut down that level of the offense. Obviously, Aerodactyl's the big concern because Aerodactyl's like one Dragon Dance away from being really oppressive, but at least he's got a good answer to the Urshifu coming in, which is nice to see. That's a hard one to check.
Yeah, exactly, but like my problem with the Comfey is like you turn with Urshifu and these two come in, and
I know. You need really good predictive play with the Comfey to make it effective in a match like this, because if you overstay your welcome by even just a turn, you just invite Scizor or Chandelure or even Mega Aerodactyl to just be able to do a lot against you. So it's something you need to play really cautiously, but it is a very good answer to Latios and the Urshifu if you play it right.
Yeah, exactly. So we can get started with this game. We're going to see Heracross and Lottie. So good lead from Iraz. He's going to force it out and get chip on the Melmetal. Like, he definitely wants a lot of chip, as much chip on this Melmetal as humanly possible, because Arrow looks pretty damn good once it's down there.
Yeah, so that's the really surprising thing about it is the Scizor, like, and I've seen Scizor used a bunch of times as like the really strong answer to Melmetal, and so I'm just surprised that's not what he's running in this matchup, because he doesn't really have a great answer to it otherwise, and you could really kind of shut down Melmetal early with Rocky Helmet Scizor, and then Scizor can easily pivot around and create free windows for Urshifu, the Mega Aerodactyl, or the Latios just to abuse with momentum. So surprising choice. It's not going poorly for him. It's just he could really have this Melmetal out of play early, because the difference here is Melmetal's alive literally just enough to click double Iron Bash here on the Latios, which it does.
Yeah, but another thing, like, maybe he got a prediction wrong. I'm not sure, but he scouted the first 2 times for the Lottie move. He just gets this play wrong, and the Melmetal is very weak and cannot check Arrow, assuming like it has any move outside of Wing Beat that'll kill it. Anyway, we see a really good double from Yoshi here, as he's gonna get his Heracross in, and he's gonna essentially claim one with once he subs up here. Yep. We're gonna see the Bull Punch not break the damage, and Scizor can just die because it's not doing much with the Melmetal gone.
Wait, it was Rocky Helmet. It was Rocky Helmet this whole time.
Really?
I guess we should take everything back. Hey, go back. You can see it on turn 16.
Yeah, no, I can see it right here.
Yeah. So I guess it was a Protective Pads Melmetal. So I take it all back.
Yeah.
It was doing exactly its job in that match. It just had the right item to check that.
So Arrow's gonna chew right through the Swampert with 2 dual Wing Beats, but
Yeah.
The interesting part about this is if he roosts on something like, say, like a Dio speed without a good attacking move to hit it very well, or the Comfey, then this Arrow is going to be sitting pretty later on, but right now it's not really in the best spot. U-turns out on the Comfey.
Really good U-turn, because now Arrow gets the window it needs to...
Yep, Draining Kiss can't KO, and now he's going to roost. So if we see DD, this game is pretty much over unless we see Scarf Dio speed. So we're going to see the DD right here. He's going to hit Wing Beat.
On. Deoxys is confirmed Life Orb, so Deoxys isn't gonna outspeed.
Yep.
And there goes Deoxys. Heracross. Speaking of it, I find it odd that Heracross was substitute when you had to deal with potentially a Infiltrator Chandelure and a dual Wing Beat Mega Aerodactyl. I just did not see the effectiveness of it in that kind of matchup. I'm not sure of the choice for substitute because I didn't see how it would be beneficial when 2 mons easily revenge killed behind that.
Yeah, I mean, Arrow I can kind of get, but Chandelure I can't. Because at least with Arrow, if you're at full health and you sub, you're still gonna be able to take the one dual wing beat hit after it doesn't do 150. It needs to do 150% total to be able to, because it'll do the 25 to break sub and then it'll do the 75 after.
75%. It's not strong enough to do that? I didn't run the calc on that. I just assumed it
Dog,
had a quad effective
definitely
move.
not. Hera's fat as hell.
Oh, I'm surprised. So I guess that could have worked if it was calculated for that.
But Chandelure, no, I wouldn't
yeah.
So that is all 5 games we have to take care of for this week. Solo KHD will go over the rest of the week's roundup now. Hey guys, Solo KHD here doing the week 2 roundup. We covered Harris versus Jamal with McGee, but Jimmy picked up a win over BM 4-0. Nala absolutely smacked Slick 6-0. Tails beat ASCII 3-0. Eagle Gene defeated Chess 4-0. Brandon defeated Spoink 2-0. Brian defeated Lapis 1-0. And Sweaty defeated Guy 1-0. That is your Nobility roundup. Next up, covering the Perplexity division, we already covered Hacker versus TCK, but Devin picked up a 5-0 win over Tomcore. Flynn picked up a 4-0 win over Winner. Slap beat me 4-0. Sfeel beat JJ 3-0. Splurge also beat Izzy 3-0. Ride defeated Luke 5-0. And Luxance defeated Autumn 3-0. In duality this week, we already covered Member versus Eevee. Ags defeated Simpleton 3-0. Charlie defeated Kurt 4-0. Fist defeated Ollie 2-0. Abriel defeated Ampha 3-0. John defeated Saf 6-0. Bloodcrawler replaced starting week 4, so ignore that. We already covered Peyton replacing Dasa, but Cody received a forfeit win over Dasa 3-0. And Burger defeated Tremono 3-0. Next up in Luxury, we got Riss defeating K Savage, we already covered. Puffer beat Nerd 3-0. Palkia beat Panda 2-0. J-Caps defeated Scoot Hawk 3-0 in a forfeit win because Scoot Hawk brought Mega Blastoise with Shell Smash. We'll get to that later. Sun defeated Jacob 6-0 because he froze him like 4,000 times. Firefin defeated HGC 4-0. Ether defeated Frosty 5-0. And Stanny defeated Jabba 4-0. Finally, for the roundup, we already covered Iraz and Darth Yoshi, but Frozen defeated Alec 2-0. Eno LR defeated HWS 3-0. Chris defeated Leighton 2-0. Azarine defeated Ballhawk 5-0. Oh, sorry, it was cheesy. Ballhawk replaced starting in week 3. McGee defeated Puck 3-0. Sengoku defeated Rikia 2-0. And Arcadian defeated Sweet AC 3-0. And finally, the Week 2 awards. Nala's Kartana wins the Nobility Pokemon of the Week with 5 kills and a 6-0 over Slick. Hacker's Holucho received the honors for Perplexity Pokemon of the Week. We already covered that game, how it happened. Biggle John's Scrafty got a clean sweep over Saf, 6 kills. Ether's Garchomp earned him a 5-0 win over Frosty. Iraz's Mega Arrow, we also covered that. Rookie of the Week was Azarine, who won the biggest out of the rookies. Nobility didn't John their games again. John versus Saf earned Wheelchair of the Week. And as previously mentioned, Scoot Hawk brought Shell Smash Mega Blastoise, and J-Caps made a big deal out of it, so they both earned Locale of the Week honors. Back to KHD and McGee. Thank you, Solo KHD, and that's going to be it for this episode. So I want to thank my man Pee McGee for coming on. It was definitely a good episode. We had some good games, and Manbird versus Eevee.
Thank you for having me on. I did appreciate it. I did enjoy. You guys have a great league going on. Really happy to be a part of it. Really hoping I don't falter as the season goes on. So I'm hoping to not be a burnout after one season. So I'm looking forward to more of these videos that you guys do as the weeks go along.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you, and I also can't wait to, with whoever I'm co-hosting next week, to rip your week 3 game apart. That'll be fun.
Oh, you're doing my week 3?
Alright, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.